September 9, 1850, 31st state. Congress admitted California as the 31st state of the United States. This event marked a major milestone in the growth of the nation, as California became the first state located entirely on the Pacific coast. The admission was a direct result of the California Gold Rush, which began in 1848 and brought hundreds of thousands of migrants to the region. The sudden influx of population created the conditions for California to seek statehood earlier than many other Western territories. The California Gold Rush changed the demographic, economic, and political landscape of the region almost overnight. People from across the United States, as well as from Latin America, Europe, Australia, and China, traveled to California in search of gold. San Francisco grew rapidly from a small settlement to a bustling city. The rapid growth of population brought both opportunity and disorder, prompting calls for a stable and recognized government. In 1849, delegates met at Monterey to draft a state constitution that outlawed slavery and requested admission to the Union. The debate over California's admission was part of a larger national crisis over slavery. At the time, the balance of power in the Senate between free states and slave states was a critical issue. Southern leaders feared that admitting California as a free state would tip the balance against their interests. The result was the Compromise of 1850, a package of legislation crafted to preserve the Union. The compromise allowed California to enter as a free state, while other measures addressed Southern concerns, including the Fugitive Slave Act. California's admission highlighted the tensions between North and South over the expansion of slavery into new territories. It showed how rapid territorial growth could intensify sectional conflict. The admission strengthened the position of free states, but it also deepened resentment in the South. Although the Compromise of 1850 temporarily delayed open conflict, it did not resolve the fundamental disagreement. Within a decade, the United States would enter the Civil War, a struggle rooted in the very issues that California's admission brought to the forefront. Economically, California's statehood brought the nation access to immense natural resources and a strategic Pacific harbor. Gold from California boosted the national economy and expanded U.S. financial systems. The state's ports opened new trade routes to Asia, linking the United States more directly to global commerce. California's growth also encouraged infrastructure projects such as the Transcontinental Railroad, which would later unite the East and West coasts. Politically, California's constitution reflected both progressive and restrictive ideas. While the Constitution rejected slavery, it included discriminatory provisions against African Americans, Native Americans, and Chinese immigrants. These policies illustrated the contradictions of a state that was free from slavery yet practiced racial exclusion. The complexities of California's political landscape provided an early example of how issues of race, labor, and immigration would shape Western states. California's admission was also significant in the expansion of federal authority. The federal government demonstrated its ability to integrate a distant and rapidly growing region into the Union. The event showed the nation's capacity to extend its political framework across a continent, reinforcing the idea of manifest destiny. For many Americans, California represented both a land of opportunity and a symbol of national expansion. In summary, the admission of California as the 31st state was a defining event in American history. It was the product of the Gold Rush, the result of the Compromise of 1850, and a turning point in the sectional struggles over slavery. It advanced the economic development of the nation, opened new trade connections, and illustrated both the promise and the challenges of expansion. California's entry into the Union shaped the course of the 19th century and remains a landmark moment in the story of the United States. For enthusiasts of historical ephemera, visit history-collectors.com to find collectibles that might complement your collection. You can own a piece of history.